Welcome back to the Six Shots Anime Podcast, where we definitely have not been talking about Armored Core 6 for like 7 minutes after an intricate conversation about how I keep getting distracted with things.
That would never happen. Not in a million
Dude.
years. We're so organized. I'm so organized, I guess.
Dude, we're gonna get ready to start talking about Beastars. I'm just gonna look over. I'm like, oh hey, coin on the ground, and I'm just gonna run over and then find a trail of candy or something. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna let out
And
of
then
the house.
you're gonna get kidnapped, and I'm gonna be like, Death.
Yeah, I just leave. And I'm like chasing fucking foxes in the wood or something. Oh, I probably shouldn't curse in the first minute, right? Yeah.
and then she's never seen or heard from her again because she's decided to
Just
follow something pointless.
someone left the door open and I ran out and got hit by a car.
That's what happens to people's cats, bro.
I probably should say stuff that depressing.
Well, I mean, this half of the season has some depressing shit in it.
It really does. Oh boy, I feel like I sort of gathered my thoughts on this, but I probably should have actually taken the time to write stuff down because I'm not gonna phrase it right. I'm tired.
Alright, well, we'll start on the onus of episode 7, which is right after we left off. It's Legoshi's birthday, and we get to
All
hang out
right,
with
the.
Haru for a little bit.
Sorry, I just remembered this. This is the episode where I was like, I really should get a shot of this because there is a scene in this
There's
episode.
two, I think, that I think are great.
Yeah, there's a scene where it's like it's so hilariously like mismatched, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, this whole conflict between Legoshi and Haru does not work anymore in this setting. Like this, like as it is, this plot feels like it does not function any longer.
No, I really kind of like it feels like it's forcing problems.
Yeah, because it's like they have to have a fight because that's their dynamic.
Yeah.
I should give some context. So it's like Legoshi meets with Haru. They like have a talk. They're trying to like make stuff up. He explains about Lewis and stuff, and Haru's like, "Hey, take me to the black market." And
Yeah.
and then they go, and Haru walks into the bunny shop where people buy like seemingly still alive, unconscious rabbits
Yeah.
ready for fucking sale. And she's looking at all these fucking people just like her behind a glass case. And Haru's just like, oh, Legoshi, make out with me right now. And he's like,
Yeah.
what? No, that's fucked up. And
And
then
then
she
she tries to
starts
sell
arguing
herself.
with him.
And she tries to sell herself to him.
Yeah, she's like, how much is my life worth? And he's like, I don't know, I don't want to answer that question.
It's like, you, how much am I worth? This wolf will buy me right now. And she's like,
It's-
no, it's not how that works.
Holy. So it's like, okay, I feel like it's no secret that it's like this show has been drifting. This show's been drifting into like, less like interpersonal drama and more like this wider like crime
drama.
narrative about like organizations and society and how fucked up the world is.
Well, literally half of this season, I think they just wanted to do spy stuff.
Yeah, they want this to be like a freaking like grounded like
It was
espionage sort of like crime detective drama. Like they want like the whole thing where the cops go undercover and they like bust the serial killer and stuff, and he has his Joker moment. But it's like the main character is still Legoshi. It's like
And he still has
has
scenes like this.
yeah. Like Legoshi as a character feels like okay, alright. This is gonna be probably my hottest take of the series. Legoshi as a character feels like he should have been replaced with either Yaya or like Lewis after he like, like has this big confrontation with like Yaya and decides never to use his fangs again. Like
I
that
feel
should
like they
yeah.
probably Like, I don't know. Like I like him as a character and everything, but what he's doing doesn't make too much sense to me.
We're at the
If that
point
makes
where it's like the plot is having to actually like fold in on itself to kind of like justify why Legoshi is like still involved in things. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it was like fine enough up until now, it made enough sense. And now it's just like, okay, Legoshi has no drive to get involved with this. He has no real motivations to like deal with these scenarios. None of it like affects him or his school life. And yet it's like he has to be there because main character.
I
So
guess like the
yeah.
link is his family, right? That's like his
Yeah,
plot there.
it's his but it's like it feels like Yaya doesn't want to like really acknowledge the link with like his grandpa. Like Yaya should have like okay, hear me out. Yaya should have like not known, and then when he like finds out, he should have done 180, and he would have been like all bam. He's like, oh, you're his blood, okay. Oh, you have so much potential. You have such a bright future ahead of you. Be my partner in crime. And
Yeah, I
that
can
should
see
have been
that.
the bit. Yeah, he should have been like,
That would
okay,
make sense.
yeah, he's like, I want like, like I was friends with your grandpa and we have falling out. I want to like remedy that by like pushing you into this. Cause he's like, I know that deep down you have the sense of justice to like deal with this. And like Legoshi could like look at the skull and the freaking carrot and be like, no, I don't want this. And like he eventually shows up and confronts about Melon, and then Legoshi starts to be like, okay, maybe I will. And that leads me into my other hot take kind of related to the first one, which is that it's like when events go down, there's a point where Legoshi could have died. I genuinely think, until proven otherwise, I genuinely think he should have stayed dead, and Yaya should have just been like overcome by like guilt, and that like drives him forward as a character.
I'm gonna be honest with how little there was on any other character besides Legoshi up until that
Yeah,
point. Uh, Here's my thing that I wrote for episode 10 when it was beginning, just after the big scene in episode 9.
right.
I wrote, if Legoshi is actually dead, I quit. I no longer care about this plot line because there isn't anybody else to care about. I literally, God's like, Grandpa could turn into Godzilla and there's still no saving this series.
Honestly, fair enough that you feel that way. But it's like it happens, and then it's like, okay, Legoshi he's stuck in this thing, and he's like, all right, it's like, what does Legoshi do after this point? And he just sort of takes on himself for no real reason, and he's like, I have the most tenuous of connections with this man. I need to see this through. And he nearly gets himself killed again, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Anyway,
sorry,
alright,
sorry, we'll get there,
we're going
yeah.
off. We're going off. But
We're going off.
this is where like literally episode 7 is kind of a chill episode because it then goes to Juno and Lewis shipping.
Oh yeah, that ship.
Yeah, and then there's I think a really funny picture of Lewis that I wrote down. It was like 1451. I meant to send you these timestamps. Be like, yo, do you need these? And
If
then
you ever see one, yeah, go for it,
yeah,
absolutely,
and
because
then
there's a good chance I won't grab it. I just won't think about it.
and then it leads into Judo recapping everything to Legoshi, and he can't keep up with her plot. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm sorry, Juno, my brain can't keep up with your plot. And I was like, my brain isn't able to keep up with any of these plot lines. Me too, Legoshi, me too.
I feel like there were two jokes we kept making. And it's like, oh yeah, hey, Legoshi's totally autistic, right? And hey, Legoshi and Lewis are totally like gay, right?
Hey, yeah.
And it
Oh,
was
we'll get
sort
into
of those
something there.
things where it's like, it'd be fun if it happened, but it's like there's no way it's actually like a thing. And the more I see this show, the more convinced I am that Legoshi actually
Is
is meant to be
actually
autistic.
autistic, yes.
Like,
I
he's
think
meant to
he
be
might
on the
actually
spectrum.
be.
And Lewis is actually meant to be, like, super gay. And he can't get off unless it's someone, like, stronger and bigger than him. Preferably Legoshi.
Very much. That's that was what's going on there, but like when it was like, oh yeah, my brain
Yeah.
can't keep up, I was like, me too.
I want to point out there's a scene later on where Lewis's dad literally confronts him about the date he fucks up.
Oh yeah, I wrote stuff down about that. I want to
And he
get to that, but
ironically says, and I quote, "Do you even like women?" And it's like
yeah.
he doesn't. That's the character.
That's like in the final episode. I literally wrote like what is it? Lewis's dad. Hey kid, you gay? I don't care. I just want to know.
He's like, yeah, you care something? Listen, yeah, I don't care if you are, but it's like, if you are, I got some a better match for you, dude.
I just need to know. Like that's
Unironically, how like there's a non-zero chance that like Dough Girl has like a hot brother, and that like they could still like arrange another pairing and like make this work.
100%. Anyways,
Honestly,
episode-
okay. All right, you want to think about it? Maybe it's that. I was like, hey, there's probably a way to make this work. There probably isn't, because I don't think Lewis would be interested unless they could fucking kill him.
No, that's why
Like-
he's interested in Juno, because Juno could kill him.
Yeah. Like, they need to find some family that's, like, headed by carnivores and
Yeah.
arrange him a gay marriage with them, and then also, like, get it legalized through the power of, like, money somehow. And that's
money
the setup.
talks.
Dude, if like this Lewis's dad was like, oh hey, yeah, we have someone that we sent to like be your suitor, they are a buff tiger man, I think Lewis would go for it. Like, I think he'd be thinking of Legoshi. I don't think he would be like as distracted, you know?
True.
Holy
I mean, like, it'd
crap.
probably work, but you know.
So, yeah, what are we saying about the scene where Haru's staring at a bunch of fucking... She's standing in essentially a slave market, and
Yeah.
she's just like, hey, boyfriend, make out with me if you love me, okay? And he's like, what the fuck? And it's like, the stakes are too big and too, like... This should be the scene where Haru's, like, eyes are opened, and she's like, oh, these petty romantic squabbles don't matter right now. This is fucked up. The world of adults is, like, horrible. And, you know, she should, like, put on the back burner until they get out of there, and then she was like, oh, I need to, like, take control of this situation through sex to, like, you know, handle my emotions, and then she goes for it. But it's like in the shop, like in the moment, like no.
It's so weird. I'm like, I get like what she's going on about, right? But this is such a weird place to do this.
It's so weird.
And then Legoshi's like, no, I can't. I'm like, you pussy.
Yeah, like Legoshi is very reasonably like, you know, in front of all these people, they're basically like ready to be sold as slaves. It's a bit of a turn off.
I mean, honestly, yeah, a huge turn off. Not a dope place to do that, but still, pussy. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Kiss your girl.
Is there anything else that happens in Son we need to talk about?
In 7, besides the I just sent you that picture of the splash screen of Lewis.
Oh boy, I might shove this. Okay, it's pretty. I should shove this up. This is pretty funny. Oh man,
this is when he's talking with Juno, and I thought it was so funny, but the entire time I'm like, oh, poor Juno, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, God. But yeah, that's happening, and it's like, okay. So it's like,
She just literally like external monologues everything.
I kind of, yeah, like I never liked Juno. This season's making me really like
I'm
Juno.
really on Juno's side on this one. I was like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, the
Juno,
four bags of it. Oh
100%.
yeah, there it is.
Chromatic's a bit weird, but this is the best shot of Lewis in this episode. He's like,
Oh man.
"What the fuck?" It's so good.
Oh boy. So
Yeah,
is there anything else yeah, it's like whatever Joe's into Lewis. It's like, okay,
Gino's into Lewis. Lewis is like, not gonna happen. I'm into Legoshi, but doesn't say that because he's like,
yeah,
I've got
and
a
then
dear
Joe goes to
girlfriend.
Legoshi and she vents about her problems, and
Yeah,
Legoshi's like, please stop, help.
Legoshi's like, I don't get. Oh, I don't understand what the problem. You're really beautiful though. That's the only thing that I can think of. Because
Right,
literally every
yeah.
time he looks at somebody, he's like, they're so beautiful. I'm like, you're so weird, man.
Legoshi is absolutely a bicon. I refuse to believe otherwise.
He's. I just think he's in love with animals. He's like the furry in a furry's world.
Phustus, if you were in this world, would you be like, wow, everyone's so
I'd
beautiful?
be like, kill me. Are there animals talking to me? You're my
I
dinner.
I think my first thought would be like, wait, am I a carnivore? Oh god, how do I deal with that? Or am I
Oh
gonna
yeah, I did.
die? And my
I wrote
second
that.
thought would be like, oh wow, everyone's so hot.
I wrote that down somewhere. I was like, I just realized that this is a like a pro vegan message. I hate it.
But yeah, and then there's some shithead VTuber or whatever the fuck that's just, he's running some show. He's like, oh yeah, I'm recording you like right now. Hey,
Oh
do
yeah,
you
that
think
little short break.
interspecies marriage is okay? And it's like most people are like no, and some of them are like yes. And then like freaking Joe just grabs the camera and just starts monologuing about how beautiful her love with Lewis is.
And just
And
straight
just
up is
starts
like, I
ranting.
love Lewis.
It's like, damn.
And the Goshi's like, He's just so dumb.
If Lewis gets with anything, I feel like this is the only ship I can see him with.
I mean, like, yes, I can see that as like a real ship because like the Haru and Legoshi is the thing, right? So I can see
Oh,
Juno and them, but truly, Legoshi and Lewis belong
I
together.
I had a thought. This is scarily close to our dynamic, isn't it?
Very.
Because I'll just rant around some bullshit, and you'll just be sitting there like, what the fuck's wrong with this lady? Okay, yeah, so let me be polite and help you through things.
Literally just me all the time. You've never had an internal monologue, have you?
I'm gonna be real, it is kind of hard.
That's funny.
If I have shit to say, I usually just kind of say it and hope for
I
the best.
I usually sit and I think about what I'm about to say, and then I'm like, no, it's not a good thing to say.
I spent way too many years of my life being like the silent fucking kid in the class that's just isolated. I'm like, that's gotta like get out there.
I just don't like speaking.
But you're on a podcast, Phustus.
Yeah, but I mean, it's different. So I
Okay.
don't like speaking. Gets up and does play in front of everybody.
Doesn't frickin' play through where they're at the controls and reading everything.
Literally, like that. I've been on stage before with lights on me. I don't know why
Yeah.
I say I don't like talking.
Oh yeah,
is
as an episode saw in the one where like Lewis talks to like the weird doctor lady, and it's like, why she's so fucking cool though?
the weird like cat doctor lady
Yeah,
that
yeah, she's like a cougar or
happens.
something, I think.
I wrote something down about that.
I forget what
Um,
she is, or if they even say it, but like she's the cool, like just edgy, like she looks like she's straight out of fucking NCIS, you
yeah,
know?
this moves. I think this is in like episode 8. Um, because he gives her a sample of keenness to like
Yeah, he gives
uh
her the kinds.
to like analyze or whatever. And she works for the Horns conglomerate or her dad or whatever, right?
Yeah, she works for Lewis's family. Like they
Yeah.
have a medical division in their company.
But getting into episode 8, since I think that's when this happens, is I also wanted to point out that I haven't said it yet, but the music is pretty good.
Oh yeah, music. Like the music of this series is great. I feel like this season's been like really reserved with it, but when it comes in, it hits hard.
And also because the streaming site I was using was messing up at the time, it kind of like just got this little bit in, and Legoshi was like, I don't understand why everybody's so happy. And then it like I had to reload everything. So for a while, and I wrote it down, Legoshi doesn't understand happiness. I think he really is on the
Yeah.
spectrum. But it's really because everybody believes Yaya is dead, and I assume Melon put out pictures of him being dead after he like fell down the chute, which he
Yeah,
isn't dead.
that's for a second. I was like, okay, it don't make sense for him to be dead, but that's a ballsy move. And it was very quickly like, oh yeah, this is a fake out. And it's like, okay, but it's like, wait, how the fuck did you escape from Melon's murder dungeon then?
I
How
don't
did
think
this
he escaped. Melon let him go, 100%.
like? Did you
It would
crawl
be
out
it's
of there on your
like
broken horse
yeah.
leg?
Yeah, he did. And Melon was like, lol, that's funny to me because
Yeah,
Melon is just the Joker this season.
I guess the only thing that makes sense is that Yaya had a phone and he like called someone who
He
helped
got
him
the
get
mice.
out.
500 corner mice came up and like
Yeah,
carried him
they
out.
just like they all came up, they like crawled under, just lifts him up, and they all like carry him out on their backs.
Yeah.
It's like Harvest and JoJo's Part 4.
It's so funny. That's just funny to think of. We don't know how he got out, but he did, and I'm
Yeah.
going to assume that's what happened because that's funny.
Honestly, it's crazy he's even alive after that, because a broken leg for a horse is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's like to be shipped off to the glue factory, kind of bad.
Like, I know he literally says it's a fatal wound, but I don't think they're really selling how bad
No,
this. Like, horses store their oxygen in, like, their bones. Like, if a horse breaks a leg, they're, like, suffocating to death as they're, like, struggling.
it is survivable, but it's like not good for them.
It,
Plus, horses
yeah.
don't really like they lay down, but they don't do that a lot. So they're always on their legs.
Yeah, it's, like, the worst thing that could happen to them, realistically.
I thought it was gonna put him out of commission a bit more, but it really didn't.
Yeah, it's like you'd expect him to at least like be in the wheelchair all season, but it's like no, he's getting up, he's like fine, dude. He's slower than he used to be,
He
but he's
kicks
like
a
making
hole
it
in a
work.
wall. He kicks a hole in a wall.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he stands on his broken leg to do it too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was his broken leg that kicked the wall or if he was standing on it. But either way, it's still like, ow.
Also, it's fun that we get to see a bit of the impact though, because it's like Yaya's death is so meaningful that the black market's
Yeah,
like, yeah, no one's
that
gonna
it's
stop
called
us
Meat
anymore.
Day. Everybody's going meat. They're like, there's I think when he shows up to like stop that turtle dude and the weird doctor guy, um, it was they were like, well, we're not gonna use anesthetic because it's better this way and whatever. because fuck
Yeah,
it.
we're celebrating, no
Yaya's dead.
aesthetic. And he's like, no, dude, do the aesthetic. And they're like, oh, but yeah, you sure it's gonna be expensive? He's like, yeah, I want the aesthetic. And then Yaya's still alive. And they're like, okay, I guess, that handles that. He's like, dude, give me the fucking aesthetic.
Yeah, he's like, give me the anesthetic and do it, and I'll tell nobody. It's like, okay. Anyways.
He's fine getting his shell cough, but he really wants that aesthetic because, fuck.
Because, yeah. Um... This is also where we find out, because as it goes on, we Legoshi's boss is a Chad Owl, because he's just
Yeah,
talking about, like,
I love the owl.
he's cool, he's a cool guy. A lot of people that are around Legoshi are really dope people.
Yeah.
But this is also where we find out that we don't know yet what she passed away from, but that, like, Legoshi's mom's grave is there and her name is Liano or whatever.
Right. I
And then
sure hope no one poses
yeah.
naked over it like a weirdo.
Yes. And then Howl's at the moon. Anyways, but after that, there was like the mice dude putting in work.
Right?
Because the mice dude are like the best, yo.
Yeah, they're
like
the whole plot with them and Yaya of like figuring out the mystery and like tracking it. Like that's what the show feels like it should be. And
that is when I started
there.
paying attention again. I was like, oh, dope, cool. Like the mice are running around, they're sneaking up. Like I was worried that the mice guy was gonna get found out by the lions. I was like, oh no, this is actually investing me.
Yeah, this is where he sneaks into the Shishigumi car and just sort of does a whole little stealth mission for information. Like they learn about kinds.
Is putting in work.
Yeah.
But we also go back for a little bit and because they're picking up something from the shit bro. And I just kind of wrote down, I fucking hate this guy. I hope he dies.
Yeah.
And then Yaya recruits Legoshi with a melon metaphor.
Yeah, while Yaya just shows up in Legoshi's fucking bedroom. For in the terms of the plot, there's no reason for it. He just wants help.
I love that the mice are like, how you gonna go after him alone, boss? And he's like, I'm not going. And then it just cuts to Legoshi like, oh, that wasn't obvious.
Hey, Legoshi, are melons fruits or vegetables?
I don't know, man.
But they grow from a vine, but do you eat, vegetables for dessert? And Legoshi's like, geez, that's weird, huh?
What if it's
Legoshi,
both?
This is a tomato. Is it a fruit or a vegetable?
I don't know, man. What if it's a little bit of both? I don't like when things are black and white.
That scream was his broken leg. It just acted up.
That's what this conversation was to me. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, what's going on is they have to force the plot to justify him bringing Legoshi along. And it's alright, it's not unjustifiable. You can be like, okay, he needs someone he can trust. He knows Legoshi is a strong sense of justice or whatever.
He did kick Yaya across a room, so I guess you can tell he's tough or whatever.
Yeah, you could rationalize this out, but it's there's no reason why he would expect Legoshi to go along with this. And it feels like Legoshi has no reason to get involved in this.
It's really weird. But he's going off on all of this stuff about how mixed are evil and they're always going to be evil, and I'm like, okay, bro, you're just I hate you right now.
Legoshi's like, I didn't want to work with you, but now you've been racist against me. I think you have a point.
Yeah, which is even more confusing to me because I'm like, wait, what is going on in this guy's brain? How does he operate? and think that people are gonna be okay with anything.
Yeah, Yaya's like, oh, you see, that Melon, he's a gazelle, but he has leopard fangs. And I'm like, okay, we could have a cool reveal, but thanks for just telling us, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know. I didn't want to see that when like he took his mask off or
Yeah,
anything.
that would've been really cool of like a reveal if we just didn't know, and then it's like, oh, he's somehow both a herbivore and a carnivore, and you see the face, and it's like, oh.
I mean, I think I speculated that last time that like he had carnivore teeth.
Yeah, I think last time they talked to it's like, oh yeah, he's a Shishigumi. It's like, okay, hey, I hate how he eats so messily. And I knew what the deal was. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if that means they made him eat the meat and he was really gross about it.
Yeah, I just kind of knew that he was gonna have carnivore because he was wearing the mask and it was kind of obvious.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like he's hiding something.
So I was like, bro's gonna have carnivore fangs because remember that one, the mayor guy, he's a lion with herbivore teeth. So I was like, yeah, he's gonna have carnivore teeth.
Yeah.
But it was actually that he's like a mixed race or whatever, which
Yeah,
becomes
he's a
a
mix.
real
He's
big thing all of a sudden. Out of nowhere, this kind of just becomes a big thing.
I feel like this concept gets way weirder if you're just like, well, wouldn't that just be like a mutt though? Like two
Yeah,
different species just and it's like, but if you think about it in those terms, it's not as like scary because it's like, well, yeah, most animals would be mutts.
I mean, like, if you think about it, if this species has been going on for so long, there should be no herbivores and carnivores. They should have mixed enough that they would all be
Yeah,
omnivores by now.
you'd think air species relationships, like even like just among like carnivores only or herbivores only, you'd think that would be like fairly common. Because
This
what are
is
the
an
chances you're gonna
advanced
find someone of your
civilization.
exact species that like you fall with and you vibe with and everything, you know?
Mm.
Like
Every single person is gonna find that no.
we have three main characters and only one of them has like had a single interaction where it
With
might have been
an
like, oh, maybe they could make maybe they could make a same species relationship work. And then
yeah,
it's like, and then Legoshi like blows her off super hard afterwards, and it's like, oh,
mm,
okay,
it's like not gonna happen. Like this, again,
yeah,
this show's very flip floppy on its morals.
there's not gonna be a single same species couple by the end of the series. Everyone's gonna be like having mixed kids.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to point out that from the way that Yaya speaks, regular crime isn't a thing. Like, there's only ever like devourings. There's no just actual psychopaths. So
Yeah,
like, I mean, maybe this world isn't that bad, but like, there's only ever devourings. There's no such thing as a psychopath because he doesn't understand that Melon is a psycho.
yeah, it's. I would talk about that a minute when we get to it, but it's like
We'll get there.
Melon fucking steals the show this season. I think, like
Well,
easily.
since it ends on Lewis giving some data to her and
Yeah.
Yaya recruiting Legoshi.
And
We then
Yaya's
cut to
like, Melon is a mix. He's herbivore and
yeah,
carnivore. If you look at him, it'll be like looking at your own kid being hatched. Are you interested? And
yeah.
Legoshi's like, sure, I guess.
Sure, why
I don't
not?
know. I'm a baby bean. I don't know what I'm getting into.
I'm literally 18 and for some reason think I'm a man now.
Legoshi looks him in the eyes and he's like, dude, I sell noodles for a living. I don't know if I'm the right guy for this.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
have a
dude hasn't had
criminal record. I
he's a
kind of
criminal
want to ruin
record
it.
and not only his last fight was with another teenager. Like,
He
I know
fought
it
a
was a big
bear and he
fight,
didn't even
but
win.
still, teenager.
But yeah, Yaya,
A
it's like you're
teenage
the
bear.
one I can trust. Listen, Legoshi, I need you to go into the fucking strip club.
Yeah, so we go into episode 9, which has some drama club drama, which I didn't care about, but it was there.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Um,
segregation is bad. I'm looking at this like I feel like the world around you is making a good case otherwise.
but then like everybody else is like, no, it's good. But then the world is like, no, it's bad. But then there's some people who are like, no, it's good. It's like, what the fuck, guys?
I was
Figure out
like,
your morals.
I was skip ahead a little bit to acknowledge something, because it's like we kind of like heard of this before, but it's like we learn for sure that it's like, okay, Kynes doesn't mess with anyone unless they've specifically like eaten like meat before, like actively, like real meat. So the fact that so many characters just casually drink it and then go crazy
Yeah.
very directly reveals how fucked up like having a non-segregated society is in this world, because they're just eating people like all the time and they just don't give a fuck about it, like
If we,
everyone.
I'm gonna say that if we go back to like when Haru
Yeah.
was walking around and looking at all like I guess the like slices of meat and whatnot, and we were supposed to feel her panic. I didn't feel that panic because I'm like, that's my dinner. It
Yeah,
didn't bother me because I myself eat a lot of meat.
for what's worth, the panic I felt is like, oh, someone's chasing her down,
I
someone's
guess yeah,
stalking
there was
her,
that.
and it's like, okay, that's the point where it's like real, because yeah, because you literally can't walk through the black market as a herbivore without someone threatening to literally murder you for food, and they're just like, yeah, but we need to, yeah, and it's like they have a point on a stoic level that it's like, okay, but segregation just makes the attitudes worse and stuff. And it's like this seems very untenable when you
But
consider.
I just feel like the horror of like, oh my god, these are human body parts, right? I guess like
Yeah.
that would be the thing. Like, didn't hit me. It, like,
Okay, hear me out. I think it's because it looks too much like
I
real food.
mean, you've even got human looking hands and stuff. Throwing some hands in there. Like,
Yeah, have
it's
like
not like
some. Yeah, if they're like
they
really like
don't
like
have
nasty with,
human
like
hands.
have like a character's face and it's like on the slab of meat, like it's like, oh, it's the face and neck and it's like the body and it's, but like I'm sure it's like limits to how far you'd go, but it's like there are ways you could do this where you would look at this and be like, oh shit, no, and it would make the case very
But
clearly.
there's some weird censorship in this season. Actually, I've noticed.
Yeah, there's one
That's one
scene
of
in
the. That's one of my favorite
particular.
ones.
I don't
Is
know if
it?
it's a
Is it the same one
Japanese
that
thing.
is it when he's lockpicking the door?
Yeah. I'm
I'm
like,
like,
are
why
you
are you
not allowed to
censoring?
show that in Japanese media for some reason? Or is it like a gag in the manga that they're not allowed to show?
I'm like, does it look like a penis or something? What's going on
I
here?
think you're just not allowed to show people how it's done because then they might replicate it.
You're not gonna be able to replicate an anime going. It's not how lockpicking does, but still.
Yeah,
Anyways.
but I feel like there's a non-zero chance that might be like a real law, like, oh, you're not allowed to show this thing because of XYZ
Yeah,
reasons, just in
there's
case.
probably reasons,
And
but
it's
like,
just like maybe it's not even like an anime thing, maybe it's just
I
like
mean,
all media, you're not allowed to show this specific thing because
I
people
guess
might, yeah.
like you could even say that like maybe like it wouldn't have worked on me even still then because when like all the rabbits were just like laying there and like Haru was like make out with me, I was like whatever. I didn't feel anything there except for like annoyance at Legoshi.
Oh man. I'm
But
looking
then
at this
again,
and it's like
I'm a
that's fucking
monster.
horrifying.
But then again, I'm a monster.
Like this
I eat
season
meat all
has
the
really
time.
cemented for me that Haru is a freaking sociopath.
Yeah, she's a weirdie.
She has her reasons. This is not normal behavior.
But this is where episode 9. It's like mostly all about Legoshi. we start off at the strip club for some reason,
Yeah.
and our boy cleans up nice,
Right.
and it becomes a
Legoshi
spy
gets to
show.
ride in the stripper van.
And it becomes a spy show.
Yeah. Legoshi has to like play a character, and Yaya's just like, oh yeah, you're gonna be like a playboy billionaire. Just act like skeezy and just make it work. And Legoshi's like, I don't know how to. He's like, all right, bye. And Legoshi's like, what?
The fuck? He's like, yeah, you were actor, right? He's like, I did lights.
It's almost like this plan is really poorly thought out, and the plot's really having to force Legoshi into this situation. Okay, hear me out. All right, hear me out, Phustus.
Yeah.
All right, alternate universe. Alternate universe, like, hey, manga's going on. Alternate scenario. Instead, Lewis gets, like, wrapped up in the black market investigation because he's looking into kinds. And then he tries to approach Yaya. And then Yaya's like, oh, well, you're like an actor, right? Maybe you can help me out with this after all. And that's how it happens. And then we
Well,
put
yeah.
Lewis into the strip club and everything, and we see him be like, try to like hold it together, but he's kind of like freaking out because he's still kind of like an innocent like 18-year-old.
You know, the problem with that is that they'd still need something for Legoshi to do because
I
honestly,
know.
if they just dropped Legoshi without like kind of ending his plot or anything,
Yeah,
I
Legoshi needs some
probably wouldn't
resolution.
care. I would not care what Lewis is doing.
Yeah, okay, maybe it's like they're both like, okay, all right. So here's my idea. Here's my quick idea. What if he's like, okay, I'm recruiting like Lewis into this because he's already looking into the thing and he's useful for a plan.
Like an
And then
easy
like,
cop out for this is they use Lewis for his acting
yeah,
skills and they use Legoshi for his brawn.
yeah, he recruits Lewis, and then he's like, yeah, we're gonna like do this
And
and
then
this, and Lewis
Lewis
is like,
recruits
oh yeah, this might get a bit dicey. If you're interested, I actually know someone who's like way tougher than you'd expect that might
and
come in
Yaya could
handy
be like,
here.
no, I don't want him, I don't trust him. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be the one where it's like Lewis is like, hey, have you considered like adding Legoshi on this mission? And then Yaya thinks about it for a second, and he's like, you know what? You got a point.
It would be a good idea to have more than just us two.
Yeah, because if someone else is like, oh, hey, have you considered this? I can vouch for him. Then Yaya would be like, okay, if you think he's up for this, I can trust you on that.
Yeah. But that's not what happened. Instead,
Yeah.
what happened is Legoshi hangs out and we get some porn scenes for a little bit.
Yeah, he hangs out the strippers in the stripper van.
There's literally like bits at that party where it's just like women feeling up women and I'm like, I see why you like this show.
I hadn't even seen this episode until now.
I know, joking, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was literally what there's like a whole scene in this that was just like, by the way, this is a really sexy party, and I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
guess
this
that was necessary.
like the direct implication is this place is gonna be a fucking orgy in like an hour.
Hmm.
Like they're giving people drinks that are spiked with what seem to be like aphrodisiacs, and you're gonna get like horned up on. Like look, like they tell like Legoshi don't drink like what they're passing around,
The
and
red juice.
Legoshi's like, oh, because it might, you think there might be like a devouring, and they're like, no, that's gonna be a bit different than that.
No, that's not what's happening
That's
tonight,
not the
baby.
instinct these are going to like spur into you.
Yeah. Um, this is also where Legoshi has to give a password to get in, and fucking what's his face never told him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I never told him.
And this is actually where I wrote and said, "This is a fucking terrible idea. Whoever thought this was good,
Yeah.
should just die.
Going back to my idea of like a rewrite, it's like, okay, how funny will it be if Legoshi's like, wait, you gave me a password, and Yaya's just like, oh, really? Lewis was supposed to do it? And Legoshi's like, what the fucker?
And Lewis is just like, oh, I guess it slipped my mind. Lol, lol, lol.
Yeah. Like, Lewis is just like, huh? That was supposed to be me? Actually told me to do that.
I thought
And
he would
you'd
have
have
figured
some,
it out
like, comedy.
himself.
Yeah, you could have, like, a fun little scene where, like, Legoshi has to, like, track down Lewis, and he's like, what's the password? And he's like, huh? Yeah, Yaya Nar actually told me. I thought that was up to him. And Legoshi's like, what the heck, Yaya? And Yaya's like, oh, yeah, I guess I'd give it to him. Yeah, this is it. And Legoshi
Anyway.
could look at Lewis and be like, the password's this. And Lewis is just like, why are you telling me, you idiot?
So dumb. But that would be funny.
Yeah, that'd be like a fun little, that'd be some fun little exchanges in here. Like, why not?
And then I guess there's like a quick cutaway scene where we see Lewis and the mayor guy talking about stuff. I kind of blacked out for a minute. I guess some blackmail was happening. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
they're like, oh, yeah, hey, don't interfere with the drugs or else, like, I'm gonna leak about your past. And he's like, but, hey, if you stay on the straight and narrow, these are all, like, disappear, like, when I leave office this year. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't entirely certain what was going on. I just knew that he was like blackmailing him, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right, because it's like Lewis's dad, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, hey, yeah. Funny thing is, I've looked into the records of the black market. Yeah, someone bought a rabbit and trained her to be like a fighter, and someone else paid a lot of money for a young deer, and, it seems like your name's on the ledger. I
Weird.
don't suppose you will have, like, eaten him, did you?
Huh, that would be weird. It's almost like this was 18 years ago. And I think your son
Yeah.
would be 18 now.
Just
It's
sort of like,
basically that.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we go back to the club. And everybody's clubbing it up as usual.
Everybody's clubbing.
And they're chilling. I guess Legoshi goes to the bathroom and Melon's there too. So then the Melon chase scene, as I called it, begins.
Yeah,
And
okay, we can't skip over this because he meets
we're not skipping
Melon,
over this.
and like Legoshi's wearing like a fucking deer gas mask.
Yeah.
And Melon's like, oh, ain't that crazy? It's like carnivores can like wear herbivore masks, but I guess we can't do the same, huh? Ah,
The
man, ain't
herbivores
that
can't take off
something?
their antlers or whatever.
Yeah. And Legoshi's like, huh? Oh, hey, yeah,
Not a big deal,
sure,
bro.
whatever you say, dude. And he's like, wait, this dude just took like a wicked piss. Let me sniff
Literally.
his piss.
Yeah, so he sniffs the urinal like a freak because Legoshi's kind of weird like that.
Yeah, and he gets in real close to it,
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah, like looks a little bit. He's like, I understand now. Did you have a dog that did that?
Must have gone this way. I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. I've never really paid attention.
Man, it's like my dash hound used to, like, when he got really old, we couldn't take him down like the stairs to the grass anymore. It was just like too much for him. So we just have like pee on like the little, like, porch, right? Because screw it, we can just clean it up. It's like, we're not gonna make him go onto the freaking snowy grass in the middle of winter at that age,
Right on.
And it's like, he'd pee on the porch, and then he'd turn around and he'd start trying to like lick it, and it's like, no, stop sipping piss.
He just wants to know.
He wants, and it's like, no, don't do that. That's not for you.
Who's
It's
it for
not
then?
okay. And there's just nothing we could do but just like see what he's done and try to like take him away before he did it. But yeah, Legoshi's like, oh, this piss smells like meat.
Yeah.
That's not a gazelle.
So he's like running after the guy, the melon chase scene, which I
Yeah.
love because he's just like hopping around like a
Yeah.
gazelle.
And Legoshi literally looks at him, and I think
I
in the
said,
dub he straight up
and I quote,
says,
so
"Yeah,
graceful.
yeah." The like in the dub, does he say some shit like he's so beautiful or
He's so
something?
beautifully graceful.
Yeah,
That is, and I quote, literally what he said on that scene.
and the
He is
sub,
so into he's just into like
yeah.
animals, bro.
In the sub, Legoshi looks at Melon and he's like, "Oh, he's so like elegant and like graceful or the crap." But it's like, yeah, calling him beautiful seems very coded.
He's so beautifully graceful. He moves just perfectly. I'm like, oh my god.
Legoshi just wants to be friends with this known serial killer.
Yeah. And then he goes running after him, and then Melon does like fucking Jason Voorhees and somehow teleports behind him.
Yeah. And this is the scene. This is the scene where it's like, okay, what's actually like Melon's deal? We actually stop. We get a talk with him, and it's like, okay, what are you like doing here? What are you like into? Like, what's your motivation for all of this? And he, like, tears off his fucking gas mask dramatically, and Legoshi literally says, like, it's like watching my own child being born or something.
Yeah, it's like watching my child being hatched or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
weird.
But yeah, we learned that it's like, alright,
Uh,
Melon, he's basically the Joker. He's very
yeah,
Joker-like
this is
vibe.
he literally just hits the Joker, and I said, all right, he won me over just because he's the Joker, and that's like not fair because he's the Joker.
Phustus, I'm afraid to tell you this character gets hotter with each episode.
I thought so. I thought you would tell me that.
I'm afraid to inform you. Melon stonks go up.
I don't know. We'll see. Uh, I mean, like, yeah, it kind of won me over, but this is also where Legoshi tells us that his mom self exited,
Yes.
and you're like, oh, and then Melon's like, yeah, I would have done that too, but I'm crazy, so.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, mine too, because she was a freak, and this is the moment where you think, all right, so I think this is the fucking make or break moment for Legoshi's character. Because what should probably happen is that he just touched on something really fucking personal. And, like, this is the point where Legoshi should get angry and have some, like, energy to him. And Melon should be like, hey, chillax, bro.
Yeah,
It's
he should have
just...
gotten up and fought Melon the minute he was like, yeah, of course your mom killed herself.
Yeah,
I was like, punch
instead
him.
Legoshi's like, well, I don't think you're a freak. I think, mixes are
You're
all
beautiful.
beautiful, and I think you're beautiful too. And Melon's like, oh, really? Ah, isn't that so sappy? Okay.
And then he taunts Yaya because he's the Joker and Yaya's Batman.
Yeah, he specifically says some crap like, yeah, he's like, oh, isn't that like a boring response? Oh, well, it is expected after all.
Yeah.
Anyways, hey, yeah, you listening? I'm gonna, like, tell you a joke, you know? Here's the joke, and he just shoots Legoshi.
Yeah. And here's the punchline, throws him over a balcony. Which,
Just
by the
into
way,
the
literally
fucking...
a thing the Joker's done!
Yeah, into the party goers as they're getting ready to start their orgy. I guess it just ruined the night for everyone. We don't see what happens next.
Yeah, it kind of stops that.
I like
But I
we see
assume
Melon do his little
Yaya
like yeah
showed up and
announce
everybody was like,
yeah
ah!
like we see Melon do his little like announcement like, oh yeah, hey, please enjoy yourselves and and I'm like, oh, this is where it comes together. This is where he's using the deer shit stuff to bring out their instincts. This is where he's like, okay, I'm going to bring out the instincts of the carnivore, and hey, Legoshi, get ready to watch as we just have ourselves a
Yeah,
full-on bloodbath.
I
And
thought
yeah,
that's what was gonna happen.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be like, I'll show you just how, like, dangerous carnivores really are without their other halves. And that'd be, like, the whole thing.
Yeah, he's like, see, this is why I'm a monster. I'm making us all monsters, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
instead, he just kind of ruins his own plan.
Yeah, I don't think Melon was even, like, was he even playing for, like, the orgy, or was he just,
I
like...
think he was kind of hoping that something would happen there with those drinks and the drugs that he was building up, but instead he just shot Legoshi and was like,
Well, that's enough
whatever.
of that for a day.
Well, that plot's over with.
Anyways...
Let's go do something else. I'm like, what? What happened?
Oh, man.
And that's like I took a break here for a while, but I was also before I started episode 10 is when I wrote down that if he's actually dead, I just really don't care anymore. Grandpa
Oh,
could turn
yeah,
into
like...
Godzilla and I wouldn't give a shit.
I think this is the point where Legoshi should have died, and the next episode is like Yaya just like as bedside, watch him just not make it, and he's just like gets really, really angry, and he's like, I can't let this ever happen again. And
I
then, yeah, dramatic shift, and we go into full on like crime drama.
I don't think like he should have died, but he should have been taken and like put onto the side, like he's in the hospital for the next 3 episodes, and like he gets
Yeah,
visited by
he
Haru. That's about it. That's about all you need from Legoshi, and then we can get like some crime stuff with Lewis and Yaya. Well, I'm still kind of caring that like our main character didn't just get shot and killed for no reason.
So, you think this would be the point where Legoshi's like, I don't want to deal with this world anymore, I want out. And then he,
Yeah, where he just
yeah,
like, this is too dangerous for me. I want to make a family
yeah,
and be a family and all that kind of
okay.
stuff.
I can completely see that. I think that would completely work. Like, maybe as a scene where he talks with Haru, and Haru's like, you can't keep doing this. And Legoshi's like, you know what? You're right. This is, like, above me.
Yeah,
This
the
is,
fact
like,
like she could just be
yeah.
like the fact that you keep putting yourself in more danger is more painful to me than like actually being eaten. And he's like, oh, let
Yeah,
this
you have Legoshi just thinks through. He's like, oh, when I was like falling, all I could think of was I just saw your face, and I just imagined how it'd make you feel. And this is where he's like, okay, yeah, I need to pull back. I need to leave this up to other people. And maybe he then confronts Lewis, and Legoshi, like, gives him what he knows so Lewis can, like, pick up the torch on his
Yeah,
behalf.
like Lewis could come visit him in the hospital or something,
Yeah, and
and then
Legoshi's
he's
like,
like,
I'm too injured to continue. I need you to finish this for me. And Lewis, like, maybe Lewis is even, like, resistant to the idea. He's like,
yeah,
oh, but,
he could be like, "Oh, so you're
I
just
don't
gonna
really
quit? I
want
mean, you
to...
ate my leg for this," and he'd be like, "Well, look, seriously, man, I got shot. Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, maybe Lewis is resistant to the idea, and then Legoshi's like, hey, Lewis, this guy, he's running the Shishigumi now. And that's
Yeah.
where Lewis's ears perk up.
He's like,
And
"Oh,
he's like,
my
the
boys."
Shishigumi's behind this? And he's like, okay, maybe I should look into this more.
It
And
would
that,
have.
like, gives him the lead, yeah.
I think this was like the big turning point that if they had just kind of put Lugosi on the back burner, not like leave him there
Yeah.
forever, like get a few scenes in with him, but take him out of being so important that
Like,
we could
Legoshi
start
can
to
show up for, like, the final fight and everything, but it's like, this is where he should, like, fade out of the story a bit, I think.
like we should start looking at what like we have enough time. Well, Lugoshi's in the hospital for like Lewis to do
Yeah.
things.
Let
And for
Legoshi be,
Yaya to do
like...
things. And not only for
Yeah.
just Yaya to do things, but for Yaya and Grandpa to do things.
Let
I
Legoshi be,
that would be
like,
cool.
happy with his life for a moment, and then after a while, he can, like, freely, like, clear his head, and then, like, choose, I want to go back in. I need to like finish this. I need to be there for Lewis
It
like
could
he was
it
there
could
for
even
me.
be like
Yeah.
an Iron Man situation in the last episode where like literally Haru's like you have to do this. If you don't, you're never gonna feel good.
Yeah, you will never live it down if you could have helped Lewis and like something happens. And Legoshi's like, yeah, you're right.
Right.
I need to use these fangs to protect him now. This is my duty.
Like that would have been really good.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
be like let the lesson be like, oh, Legoshi doesn't have to put himself in everyone's problems, but this is like he realizes this is the one time where it's like actually important, and he chooses to actually like pick his battles. So it's like, oh, he's not like the aggro Legoshi from the start of the season where he's just fine with whoever like starts a fight with him. He's
And
like
he's also
learned the
not
moderation.
the
Yeah, he's like learned to
he's
be
not the
between.
passive like
Yeah.
hide behind things and not he's like
Yeah.
a in between kind of like he figured out that he can fight to defend people, but he doesn't need to pick fights with everybody.
Yeah, he like finally shows up. He's like, Grandpa, I finally realized what you mean by pacifism. And he
Yeah.
like clenches his fist and he punches Melon out.
Like like he could literally like I don't even care if they come in a fucking like Dragon Ball Z and fucking
Yeah.
moment and he clocks Melon in the face. I would have been like
Yeah.
dope. And like I don't know, Yaya and Grandpa and Lewis are all beat up and shit. And like like, oh, I win. All the
Yeah,
Shishigumi are
but
mine. And then I don't know, we're just fucking Legoshi. I still would have been fine with that. But instead, we got Lewis doing stuff in episode 10 for a little bit.
yeah, you could have a whole thing where
He,
it's like they disarm Melon, and Legoshi walks up, and Melon's like, "Hey, Jay, chill, man. Can't we like talk this out?" And Legoshi's like, "I realize that like there's only one thing you'll listen to, and it's strength." And he like punches the shit out of him, and he like they get into the fight, and he like knocks the shit out of him so that Melon will be finally willing to like actually listen to him and like respect him as an
it
equal.
would be super thematic if like he knocked his fangs out.
Yeah, yeah, like punches like a fang out of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean it would just be like really thematic because he's like because that's part of the leopard stuff that he doesn't like, right? And
Yeah.
he doesn't like that he's mixed. So
Yeah, he's like,
it'd be like,
stop
oh, I
blaming
knocked out your
everyone else
fangs.
for your problems. Like,
Yeah,
this wasn't on like me or like, yeah, like whatever. Like, you just keep using people. Like it just fine as he's just tearing him down. And then
it could be
Nolan
like,
can be
yeah,
like,
sure, it's
okay,
not
well,
fair.
wait, hang on.
Yeah, it's not fair
Yeah,
to
have
be
have like a
mixed and have
dialogue. Yeah,
everybody hate
build up
you,
to it.
but what you're doing isn't any better. You know, kind of thing. But
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to see how
again,
the final season part 2 handles things before I,
not what happened. What happened is Lewis was doing stuff in the black market, and the Shishigumi track him down,
Yeah,
and
they just
then his
happen to
antlers
find
fall
him
off.
just by pure coincidence.
And they're like, "Yo,
Also by pure coincidence. Yon
let's hang
Wolf,
out."
like, Yon Wolf really, like, helped if, like, Lewis showed up intentionally and they're like, oh, you said that, like, we
And
said
the
if you showed your
Shishigumi would
face
be like,
again, then, like, we'd kill you. And
"Yeah,
then Lewis flashes a fucking police badge and he's like, I need to, like, help you get rid of Melon. And they all just sort of look around and they're like, then you're not the Lewis we knew anymore. Come
yeah,"
on. Yeah. And
like
they like
something like
kind of
that.
realize, like, okay, yeah, no,
Yeah,
this is
we're
what
just
needs to
trying to
happen.
rewrite this season, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, we're pitching such a better like version of the season in our heads right now.
What
At least I
happens
think
is
so.
we get more Melon Joker scenes,
I love
and
the Melon Joker scenes.
I mean, like, yeah, I did like those. Those were pretty jokes. And then that one dude grovels like he's never groveled before, and it worked very well.
Yeah. He puts aside his
Um,
pride as a line to, like, appease Melon.
yeah, he put his pride aside to protect his pride.
Yeah, to protect Lewis specifically, who's hiding behind the folding screen.
Yeah, because
Which
they still look at Lewis as like their best boss and stuff. They really like him.
somehow somehow the folding partition is a steel door, and no one's gonna get that reference.
Yes. Hardcore. um, and then we get to what I like to call the Grey's Anatomy moment
Oh shit.
because Legoshi's in the hospital, but he's a ghost.
Oh yeah, this scene. Holy crap, I forgot. Yeah.
I literally wrote, "Oh, we're doing your Grey's Anatomy." Okay.
Holy shit. So, oh boy, I have thoughts. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go so overtime. I have thoughts about this.
About Legoshi's mom's backstory.
Yeah, because Legoshi is an Av body experience, and he hallucinates his fucking. Like, I guess he's talking to her actual spirit because she's saying stuff he shouldn't know.
It's literally implied that this is his ghost mom.
Legoshi, he literally dies, and he sees his
And
ghost mom, and then he comes back.
yeah, and then his ghost mom's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. I can't take back what I did, but you can still go back. I love you and stuff."
Yeah.
And I guess she was all upset because she was turning into a Komodo dragon kind of.
Yeah, because their parents were like a wolf and a Komodo dragon, so, it turns out she worked as a model, but then after she hit a specific age, the genes just kind of like kicked in, and
She started growing scales.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, still hit it.
This is what dysphoria feels like.
Just, of course you would, Fuss. This is a lizard and a wolf. You fucking freak.
You're like, now that I know that she has lizard in her, I'd go for it.
I'd hit it.
This is the best image I could have shown for you saying that.
Yeah.
Just her freaking
yeah.
out, cowering over like the idea of people like finding out and like judging her as like a mix and not as like herself.
Don't worry, baby. I wouldn't judge you.
Aww.
My question is, what happened to Legoshi's dad?
I don't know.
Like,
I
he's not
think
even mentioned.
Legoshi's dad may have been like a normal wolf.
I think
and
so
then
too.
he just
Right?
sort of like left. Maybe they just got a divorce. Maybe he
Maybe.
saw the scales and he freaked out. I feel like
Maybe
that'd
he
be
was
possible.
like later, like they had Legoshi out of marriage, and then they like met his dad and or her dad, and he was like, "Ew, gross," and then disappeared.
Possible, yeah. Maybe they like married, and when Legoshi's dad found out like who her dad was, he was like, "I can't be with you anymore."
Yeah, like I could like I don't even they don't even have to be married to like
Yeah. Yeah, they like have a kid out of wedlock, and he's not there for like the actual childbirth.
Yeah, because he's like, "Oh shit, I." Like she's like, "Yo, I'm pregnant," and he's
Yeah,
like, nah, okay, bye." Beep.
he could literally he'd probably literally just be like, "Oh, I don't want to raise this abomination." Looks at like a perfectly normal looking wolf baby.
Yeah, just a little big.
Yeah, he's just a little big. He's a little neurodivergent, but yeah, that's fine. Probably has nothing to do with being a mix, but he just likes
No,
bugs and he's a bit big. That's
I
really
think
it.
I think he's weird thing about like being sensitive to touch and stuff. Anyways, I this was depressing, like really depressing.
Oh yeah, this was an effective backstory.
I didn't really write too much down about it because usually my notes are contained with jokes, so I didn't really have much to make fun of here, because this
Yeah,
was just
it's
kind of like depressing. And
you're
then
seeing. Yeah.
Legoshi's like, that night that you like killed yourself, I should have like said that I loved you and thought you were beautiful and stuff, and because I was awake. And then literally his ghost mom's like, "Oh, that might have changed things." And I'm like, "Why would you
Ah,
tell him that?
if only.
Why would you tell him that?"
I mean, at this point, she's a ghost, so
And then she like a second later is like, because I was like, "Why would you say that to him and make him feel bad?" And she's like, "But I can't take back what I did." And I was like, "Yeah, that's right. You're to blame." And I was like,
ah.
"No, I'm more sad."
Yeah, she felt like she had no way out, like she couldn't be seen by people, and she
So
was afraid of
depressed.
being judged by her appearance, and she just couldn't live with it.
Must have stopped watching shortly after this episode for a little while.
This is a heavy. Listen, if you do like episode a day, this would probably be a really good reason to, because
Although
then you can adjust in case you
I'm gonna
fuck.
point out that it does end on probably the funniest scene.
Legoshi just naked
Just
over her
naked
grave,
over
just
his mom's
howling
grave,
for no
howling.
reason.
I,
Yeah, because he
I
leaves
started
the
howling.
hospital and he's just naked for some
He
reason. I
just
guess they didn't
disappears.
give him a gown.
He just disappears. There's no window in that room that I saw, but
He just
still, he just
ran out like through.
disappears.
He ran out the door. He ran past the waiting room. Just ran
He
down the
ran
town,
past
ran
his
down the street, ran all
grandfather.
the way to the graveyard. No one was there. No one saw him, and he's just like, oh, and
Removed
they
his
like
hospital
ran
gown.
all the way back, and it was just like,
And then
okay.
he walked naked back to his apartment. Probably
When you
still with a
put it
bunch of
like that,
hospital shit connected to him.
thank
Could
God
you-
7 wasn't awake at that hour.
No, but you know who was. Hey man, come inside.
Oh,
We'll have
man.
some seafood. Just a big fucking seal bro being naked.
The seal bro's just like, oh, you've learned the customs of my people. And Legoshi's like, no, I was in the hospital. And he's like, wait, what? And Legoshi's like, yeah, I just had to visit my mom's grave. He's like, that's weird.
You're weird. Two land animals usually visit their mother's graves naked.
I'm not gonna
No,
lie. I'm fine with it. It works for the emotions, and of
it
course I'm
does,
fine
but
with it. But yeah,
it's really funny to me. It was
it's
really funny.
it's
I it,
really
like
funny in
it.
context.
Like the whole like most of that episode, I didn't have much to write down other than like the Lewis stuff and my previous being angry. And the Grey's Anatomy bit, but the rest was like, well, this is just kind of depressing, and then it ends on that bit, and I was like,
Isn't
this show is so flip floppy on what it's doing.
isn't the next episode the one where the seal guy buys takoyaki?
Yeah, this is in the next episode. We Lewis goes to the little shitter's place, right?
Yeah.
And then this is where I realized that the show is super vegan and I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis was doing spy stuff. The little shitter called him out like immediately
Of
because
course.
he's the worst.
Yeah, I'm amazed he just like talks to it, and it's just like it's the guy. It's a little like civet.
Yeah, I hate him.
And Lewis is just like,
But
oh, okay,
they just kind of
well,
look at what Genius is made up of, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I already know all that because he made it."
Yeah, he's like, hey, but the only people who are affected are the ones who ate meat, so isn't this just revealing the existing flaws in society? And Lewis is like, people are dying, damn it! Slams hand on table.
Yeah, people are dying, and he's just like, I don't care. Like a little piece of shit.
He's like, yeah, I guess there's getting what they're like. There's getting their due, you know. It was just what goes around comes around.
It's when I can't really remember what happens in between there. I wrote something about Legoshi's boss not understanding his dead mom.
Yeah, Legoshi goes back to his workplace. He's like, yeah, sorry I didn't make it to work. I got shot, and then I
Oh
saw my
yeah, right.
dead mom, and I died for a bit. And the
Right, I
guys
remember
just
that.
sitting there like, I don't believe you, but sure, whatever.
No one's gonna believe that shit. Now go clean the toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at there. I remember that one now. That's really.
Legoshi has so little agency in this season. Holy shit.
But that's when we cut to him in a bath, which the Seal Bro shows up because he's just in the bath too. And
he's like, okay, Legoshi, if you're ever in trouble, here's what
I
you
will
do.
teach
And
you
he
the
dives
words.
underwater, and he like.
He goes.
Now, contrary to what you'd expect, that was not the sound of a blowjob. I feel like the joke is kind of unavoidable. Are you okay, Phustus?
Oh, sorry, I'm doing something.
He's like, okay, you go around and you make bubbles and you say blah. And Legoshi's like,
No, I like
what?
my
And
noises
he's like,
better.
yeah,
My
you say
noises are better.
Legoshi. And he's like, okay, sure, if I'm our water on trouble, I'll say those exact
I'll
words.
say.
And Legoshi looks at the camera, and he's like, if I'm ever in trouble underwater, I will remember to say Legoshi bull. He's like, I hope that never becomes relevant soon.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Melon's just,
I'm
yeah.
sure that will mean nothing ever. But this is also where when they leave, he gets takoyaki.
Yeah, you get Takoyaki, and Legoshi's like, but you're eating people. And he's like, yup, that's the way it is, huh? And he looks at the guy, he's like, oh yeah, poaching's a crime, you know? And he looks
Yeah,
really scary for a second.
that's really funny. He like leans in and he's like, "Poaching's a crime." It's like, oh fuck.
I really don't trust this seal, man. I feel like he's really, like, he's looking at this with those rose-tinted glasses as the most privileged motherfucker.
This seal man is but I mean, like seals do get eaten a lot by like orcas and shit. So
Yeah, but yeah, he's just on
I wouldn't
land.
say
And
he's the
he's like,
most
oh, I don't care. I'll
privileged.
just eat meat, whatever. No big deal. It's not like this was alive or something.
But he makes a point that it is already dead, so eating it really isn't gonna stop it from like being dead.
Counterpoint, you're supporting the systems that let people like take more meat and kill animals for food.
Counterpoint, I'm not a vegan. I don't care.
I'm not either, but like I feel like if my cow could talk, I'd change my mind a bit.
I don't think I would.
If you'd like see a cow look you in the eye with human intelligence and say help me, you wouldn't be like, wow, maybe we should make these things into burgers.
No.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna have to switch to a different beef substitute, and I love beef.
I feel like I feel like that would make me be like, okay, maybe this is, because it's like if there's dumb animals, then whatever. Well, it's like, oh, they have like sapience. I think that crosses a line.
No, humanity number one. Also Melon just kind of shows up like right after Legoshi
Yeah.
leaves.
Why don't you sniff his piss this time, Legoshi?
I thought it was like not a real thing at first, but he literally just shows up right after Legoshi.
Yeah, Legoshi doesn't smell him with his library of scents or anything.
Yeah.
Remember when Legoshi was hunting the killer of the devouring at the school, and it was like, oh, it's too bad it's cold season because I have a library of scents. I could have sniffed them out.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like he should know these things, but for some reason the plot said nah.
The plot says Legoshi can't meet Melon just yet because he's like not ready to do his thing.
No. And so then he goes Melon goes to the tattoo parlor
Yes.
where a sloth guy like mutilates him trying to put flowers where his leopard spots are. No, leaves.
Yes. Yeah, specifically, they are melon leaves.
Yes.
And we get this scene.
I wrote down, oh, I see, he enjoys pain. I'm sure Death will like this.
Listen, I may or may not have rewound this scene a few times.
I thought so.
Listen, alright, hear me out. At first I think I was like, I'm leaning sub Melon. And then I listened to more dub Melon, and it's like, dude. Dub Melon is a fucking vibe. Holy crap.
Yeah,
he's like basically getting off on this and right. It's like, how the fuck do you not? And I know you don't. It's pretty easy not to.
It's pretty easy not to. He's just one. He's being stabbed right now.
Yeah, but isn't that also kind of,
Painful? Yes.
Yeah, is it like, oh, he's into the pain, and he's like, make me feel alive. And it's like, the warm feelings. You know? No? Listen, Phustus, I may have a problem.
I'm judging you right now.
How hard are you judging me?
Pretty hard.
Pretty hard, okay.
This man is being, like, stabbed, and you're like, that's hot. That's weird.
He's so into it.
I don't care if he's into it. That's weird. It's literally just weird.
Oh man, I had to look at something.
This is like, yeah. I like you to cut me. It's the only way I can feel things. Like, you're a fucking creeper.
Well, first off, he's getting a tattoo. It's not like he's like cut open.
This guy is literally they go to a sloth who is literally getting fired that exact day because he's terrible and mutilates people and has killed people.
Oh my god. I'm looking at something. I'm looking at like something right now, and it's like, how consistent am I on this? Where the crap is this? Is like it's something over here probably. Wait, no, it'd be okay. And I want to look at something else, and oh, okay, yeah. That's going nothing to anyone else. I filled out like a kink list. I'm like, wait, I don't think I put this as. It's like, no, I didn't. Nah, okay.
Right. Well.
Listen, it's not the blood itself. It's the fact that he's so into it and so fucking unhinged about it. Sure. Dude, what? Okay, alright. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. Alright. We are gender swapping Melon. Melon is now like edgy drug dealer, like big booby gazelle girl. And she's just like writhing on the table, like, yeah, make it hurt, make me feel alive. Yeah, it's like, what that,
No,
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 not even a little.
no, no,
Even if they're like in their underwear and everything.
no.
No. Maybe I just have a problem.
Because I'm not a psychopath.
I may or not partially be a psychopath. There's
I
no.
worry about you.
You ever get the impression that if you took a psychopath quiz, it might give you some weird results?
Well, it'd probably just let me know that I'm a narcissist. That's about it.
Yeah. Honestly, after a stream, I should just do that. I should do that, and I don't know if I'll reveal the results, but I'm interested to know what they are.
Probably just tell me that I'm too into myself, and I'm like, fuck you, no, I'm not.
Oh, man.
Anyways, we'll go to episode 12, because that's where Legoshi comes back into the parlor after he's had his little fun time here, I guess.
Yeah, Legoshi goes to a tattoo parlor, and he's like, oh, wait, is this where Melon was? And he, like, sniffs, and he's like, oh, I can smell semen.
Yes, and
That's
then
the
he
semen of a carnivore.
and then he listens to the sloth guy do like half of a conversation.
Just the thought that Legoshi's like, that's the cum of a carnivore. I know it by heart. And it's like, oh, okay.
Well, of course he would.
Of course he would. Like,
He's
no
a
doubt.
carnivore. He's a carnivore.
Yeah. He has lots of experience.
Yeah. Those late
It's
nights
a
when
masturbation
he's
joke.
those late nights when he's thinking of Haru.
Yeah. He's
It's a
dealing
joke
with
about
the meat
penis.
cravings, and he just needs some kind of outlet for it.
Okay.
I feel like we pushed this as far as we really can.
I do need to point out that being this sloth, his existence would be pain, as he is just constantly at like 100 ping, or like 0 ping. Like
he's
fucking...
like having a conversation with like Melon after he left because he's responding to things he said like on delay basically because sloth, and like Legoshi's just hearing like, oh, maybe if you had someone you could relate to, you wouldn't feel like this. And Legoshi's like, someone he can relate to.
That must be me.
I don't want to like say anything controversial. I feel like this is kind of like a very, non-neurotypical path of logic.
It isn't entirely there's a skip in logic there at some point.
It's got a bit of like a vibe. It's like, I don't know if it's just like, oh, this is just what it needs for the plot, or if it's like, yeah, you think about it logically, it's like, this does kind of track.
I mean, like, it's something that he would definitely think of doing. Like, yes. I mean, like, it's in Legoshi's character.
Yes. Legoshi would hear, like, oh, maybe if they just talk to someone, and he's like, talk to them, I can do that.
Yeah. Because that's what he wanted to do with Riz.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, wait, didn't this guy shoot you before? I don't know if you could, like, trust him like you trust Riz. This seems like a horrible idea. Yeah.
But, like, this is also where, after he goes to kind of track him down, we get to Lewis, and he wants to go meet Yaya, right? So he decides that he's gonna take the fucking stairs all the way up. It's like, bro, skip 50 floors at least. Take an elevator up halfway. Like, dude.
Yeah. Like, he's very determined not to be caught.
Yeah, this is also where he reaches the 100th floor eventually, and they censor him lockpicking
I'll point out this man chose to climb 108 flights of
with
stairs.
one leg.
Yes. Also, I also will point out 108, very important, like, number in
Yes,
Buddhism.
I get it. I know.
Gotta go through all the, like, stages, all the
He didn't
years
even make
until
it
you
to
can reach
108 though, because
Nirvana.
the floor ends at 100.
Yes.
Then there's an elevator to the rest of the thing.
Yeah, he gets caught, and then it's like, oh, but the cop also drank Kynes, so he's
Yeah.
good. Oh, Yaya's just there, conveniently. Just
Just
the
yeah,
plot
not
demands it,
not only
yeah.
was it was so fucking convenient that it was right at that exact moment that the Keenest decided to do a thing to that carnivore.
This series is falling apart, but there's so much to like about it, but holy crap.
And then like he's just like Yaya's just there, and then the guy gets up and runs away again, and then falls into like there's like some idol chick there or whatever that's going on,
Yeah, they like
and
stop her. They're like, no, they stop him from getting there. Like they tackle him to the ground.
yeah,
Lewis is like,
well,
listen, Kynes is a drug. This is what it does to you. Anyone who's eating meat gets affected by this like thing. And yes, Kynes is like it's super dangerous. You can't trust it. Oh hey Baron. Yeah, this
okay,
guy who I'm totally not getting more attracted to by the episode.
yes.
Yes. Barrett, I think I have a problem.
There's a problem. Like we went through the thought process of this being gender swapped for me here, and I just it wouldn't. I no. She's like okay.
If that doesn't make sense to someone, then it's like I don't know if the problem is just you're not into. It's something. There's something wrong with me.
But yeah, so he exposes Keenest to Zawardo.
He exposes his keenness.
Yeah, and he exposes his penis to Zawardo. And Legoshi's like, oh my.
Yeah, no wonder the stock went down after that.
Yeah, and then the stock went down because we go to Legoshi's not Legoshi's dad, Lewis's dad, and him having like a bit of a chat. And literally the chat is, hey boy, you gay? Like I just want to know.
Yeah, Lewis's dad literally looks him in the eye and says, "You're not to women, are you?"
Are you just not a woman? Is that it? That's literally his line. I'm like, whoa. Straightforward. And Lewis is like,
Oh
"What?
man.
What are you even talking about?" He's like, oh, "I know how your date went, threw up and stuff." And he's like, "Why are you interfering in my life? Fuck off." And he's like, "I don't know. I'm not interfering with your life. I'm interfering with our lives because you're my successor and I'm the president, bitch." Also, I just wanted to point out a real quick thing. There's a scene where Legoshi is wearing headphones upside down.
Yeah, I've seen
I
that
also
as like a
need to know
meme.
I also need to know who designed these headphones and who were they designed for? Because humans have ears on the sides of their heads, so that like band makes sense. It's because it goes over the head and hits both ears. But all animals have their ears on the top of the head. That band makes no fucking
Yeah,
sense.
actually. Yeah, let me try something. Oh, nope. No, they're falling off. I can't do it.
Like it just doesn't.
I need to hold it in place or it just won't. Okay. Oh, wow,
It
that
got
messed
some
my hair
fangs and ain't
horribly.
worth the fang.
I should have predicted that outcome, honestly.
It's very true. That is Lewis. If it ain't got fangs, it ain't a thang.
Yeah.
Also, right after Luis's dad's conversation, there is 10 minutes left in this episode, and I'm like, they're not gonna wrap this up, are they?
Oh, they sure as hell aren't. I think last time Baron implied there'd be like a final season part 2. I'm like, I hope that's not the case, but that's probably gonna be the case. And yeah, that's totally the case.
That's exactly what happens because we get Legoshi doing
I
the like oh he was throwing up death flags a lot, and I was like, are we doing this again?
yeah, it
I want to
was
see the open sea with Mr. Seal Bro and Seven, and I want to go swimming with my friends from
yeah.
school,
So we
and I
should go
want
a
to
little
go
bit of
hanging at the
context
beach.
because this is actually a really important point I want to make. Is that Legoshi goes to like Reaper Blood Drop Beach because that's
Which
where
is
the sloth said that like Melon was going. So he's just going there. He's like looking at the sea, and he's like looking at like the beautiful ocean. He's thinking on his life and all these like precious memories he has. And then Melon comes up and fucking shoots him in the ear.
yeah, shoots the top part of it like his ear off, so he's gonna have like another dope scar.
Yeah, and Melon's just like, oh, hey, oh, man, if only there was someone who could understand me. Oh, if only someone in
Yeah,
the world knew my plight and they could help mend my twisted soul. Is
this
that
is
what you
where
think I'd say?
this is where I wrote death goes sploosh.
Yeah, this is very much Death Ghost
Because
Flash.
he got a whole
he,
monologue,
he got a whole fucking monologue about how fucked up and broken he
and
is.
literally, like I I I listened to it all a couple of times. I think went back just to re-listen to it, and still the only thing I got out of it was I'm crazy.
Yeah, because he's like, the slow parts are him like mimicking the sloth, and he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, hey, did you really think that, like, I don't know what you guys about this, but like, I really don't think you can fix
no,
him.
like that's I was writing down. Fucking Legoshi thinks he can fix Melon, and then he gets shot, right? And I'm like, lol.
Dude, I feel like I would fall for this
Melon
trap.
Melon's literally like, bro, you came here to fix me. I can't be fixed. I don't even want to be fixed.
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's like, Melon in the show is like the epitome of like society's failings, right? Like
Yes.
he is a mix that doesn't pass, and the only way he can like mask, like literally in this case, is by like identifying as a herbivore and being like the sub dominant class that's like always getting the shit end of the stick and being passed over. And it's like, oh, everyone sees you as a meal, but you still have like the killer instinct of a carnivore, and you have to hide that because you know if the truth came out, the herbivores also wouldn't accept your like carnivore nature, and everything has just failed him. So like after everything, he looks at society and he's like, okay, everyone's failed me. This world was not built for people like me. It'll never be built for people like me. I'm gonna like tear this place down. And I'm going to do it by shining a light on the hypocrisy they cling to. And
I'm gonna
that's
be
the deal, it seems like.
I'm gonna be the like 100% honest with you. The like second time I listened to his speech about like how society rejected him and blah blah blah, I was just like,
Yeah.
stop crying, you little baby bitch. I just like I was trying so hard to feel bad for him, but like the second time I listened to it, I was like, you're just crazy. You're coming up with all this bullshit to realize to like justify the fact that you're just a crazy person, bro.
Nah, because it's like the thing, right? Because it's like this is the systemic root of the society inevitably leads to this, where it's like, oh, there's someone who just doesn't fit in, and they
That's
feel
that's a
alienated, and then
a
it's like, okay, at
like
what point does it give? At what point does it break?
I think he's just broken the minute he showed up because he's crazy.
I
he can flower it up as much as he wants. He's just a crazy person.
I know one bit of context that is going to add a lot to this, which is that yeah, he casually mentions his mother committed suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually we do get the backstory. We do get a flashback, seemingly. I don't know
Oh,
the full context of it, but I feel like that's gonna be a pretty fucked up flashback because he looked real young in that image.
I feel like that's gonna ruin his character for me.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, this is why he's so fucked up. This is how you start, and you go from just being someone who's alienated to being like someone who just can't like understand a world without violence."
I just feel like if they really are gonna go away where they're like, oh, this is justified, I'm gonna be like, that's you guys are dumb. You
I
had
don't
the
think it's gonna
easiest
be
like
justified, but
he's
I think you're
crazy.
gonna look at
You
and
have
be
the
like,
easiest.
yeah.
No, he's just crazy. Like he doesn't need a tragic backstory. He's just a crazy person. That's okay.
We've seen,
You
yeah,
can
we've
have
seen
that.
steps 2, 4, and 5. I think when you see steps like 1, 3, that's like, oh,
I
you're
don't know.
gonna be like, this
I have a
doesn't
feeling that
justify it, but explains it.
it's just I don't know. I could tell you that I could. There's probably not gonna be just like
You're not gonna
anyway.
like him, but you're
I'm gonna
gonna at
think it's
least like
dumb.
understand him, I think.
I'm gonna be like, this is dumb. Why did you attempt to make some kind of sympathy
Yeah.
for this character? Don't do that.
Supposing hypocrisy really ever convinces those entrenched in polite society to change, especially if they benefit from it. Yeah, well spoken.
Of course, Baron's well spoken. That's what he does.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, Melon's just like, oh, do you think you could just like talk me down? You think you could just like connect with me? You think I like even want to be connected with? You think I want to like be better? And he's like, no, I don't want to be better. I want society to like fall apart at the seams and for me to stand on top of it. He's like, I want power, you know? That's the gist of it. I want power and I don't care for like your idealistic platitudes.
That's just crazy, bro. Just a crazy person. That's okay.
Free boy here may just be lashing out a world that hates him as much as he hates it. Exactly, yeah.
Sometimes you're just allowed to be an asshole as a bad guy.
Yeah, but sometimes you're just an asshole and you also kind of have a point, but you're still an asshole.
But giving them a point ruins the... Never mind.
Does it?
It really does. It's like, why would I care about their point? They're crazy!
If I was crazy, would you care about my points?
No, because they're crazy. Crazy people don't make points. They speak platitudes and lie.
Yeah. That's kind of like the opposite of what he's doing. He's like, no, I don't give a fuck about any of this. He's like, I don't care about your platitudes, Legoshi. Screw you.
All he's done is like monologue and laugh.
Yeah, Melon is like holding this series together for you right now. Melon is like just outshining everyone else in this cast. And he's like, I don't care what you have to say. I don't care about your ideals. I'm going to like create the world I want to like see. And it's gonna fucking suck for those people that like were against me.
I'm gonna point out that this is where I wrote as he was like he had Legoshi tied up to kick him into the ocean, right?
Yeah.
This is his boss moment where he's basically just like, you ever know the definition of insanity? And I'm like, oh, cool. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, like Goshi's like, but all I wanted to do was talk to you. I'm just a precious little bean. I'm a special birthday boy. And Melon's like, yeah, and you should have known better than that. Anyway, at least, like, you really want to help me? Make this entertaining by being smashed against the fucking rocks. It'll be messier that way.
Yeah, and then he just
It's
kicks
like,
him
yeah,
into
that's a
the ocean.
character, yeah.
And then it cuts to Haru being like, "Oh my god, look, she hasn't called me in like a day or two." And then her friend's like, "You should break up with him." And then Melon's somehow her teacher.
Yeah, he is a licensed therapist, so it probably wouldn't be that, like, hard to get the position. Oh, right, Haru's... Yeah, Haru just doesn't really matter anymore, and neither does Seven, I guess. Seven never mattered.
No, seven never apparently mattered. This is also where I wrote, seriously, what a dumb ending. I actually give up on all of this. If there's another part, I'll try to watch it, but I actually hate this right now. The
So,
end.
genuine question.
You can't put final season and then be like, well, there's a part two.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
So Phustus, if it came down to it, would you go another 6 episodes into
No,
Beastars?
absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough.
If there was another 6 episodes to this season, I would have quit.
So yeah,
But I will
calling it the
attempt to
show's
watch if a
yeah.
new season comes. If a new season comes out, I will attempt to watch it. Because
But
hopefully
do you
they
want
can
to actually
figure
like do it
something
on
out.
the show? Are you still in?
We could do it on the show because I don't know when that season will be coming.
Right.
I could have cooled down on Beastars by then. But right now, I'm very mad at it. You can't put the final season and then like advertise that real hard at the beginning of every episode and at the end of every episode and then have it be like Laurel part 2. That's false advertising.
Oh boy. So
I
this
was
is
lied
gonna be interesting.
I was told there would be an ending to this. There was no ending. This is like the middle of the story. It's fucking bullshit.
So I think we did clear like all available episodes out, and we got like like 3 seasons in. I think it's time. I think we have to do the danger roulette.
Yeah. Oh, my mom's still texting me.
It's fine. Which window capture? It's been so long since. Yeah, I'll just screw us over. Why not? Wheel of Names, random agent picker. And I should be able to quickly just... yeah. Drug England just be more than the characters. Honestly, yeah, that's fair. So, as you can see... this is the first time we're doing this, because this is the first show we've actually, like, finished. So every time we finish a show, and yes, I feel like 3 seasons is fair, call it finish, we have to, like, do a random roulette, and there's a 1/6 chance we get a stinker, and a 5 6 chance we get something that's probably, like, good. In this case, it will be good, but I don't know if you'd be into it or not. But yeah. Phustus, do you have any final words?
No. I'm excited to see what we get. If it's... I mean, what are we gonna do? There's no more furries.
Well, there is a 5 6 chance we will have a show that has furries in it.
Oh.
And there is a 1/6 chance we'll have a show that has trans people in it, but it's bad.
Okay.
So I feel like this is a lose-lose for you either way, really, at this point.
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. Let's go, Ab Sandler, please stop.
Let's see which one of these.
Oh my god. Oh
my
god. That was way the fuck closer than I was expecting.
Yeah, this is really close.
That was like right there. Holy crap. So,
Alright.
yeah, I guess that's... I should remove the other instance. Yeah.
Season 1 of
Phustus?
Gurlagen.
Phustus, I think, personally, we're going to watch Gurren Lagann, and you're going to be like, okay, this is everything I want in a show. I think you're going to be like, okay, love the main character. I think you're going to be like, I love the vibes. And I think you're going to be like, you know what, screw the villain. But also, you know what, yeah, let's go. Let's fuck the villain. I think I'm going to look
I've
at this
heard
with very different eyes than when I first watched it.
I've heard good things about this show. I've seen
You've
many a meme.
you've heard boobs.
But I've heard boobs are in this one, so that's
Yeah,
a plus.
I'm still prefer over Beastars. Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, come back in 2 weeks and we'll do this. See you guys around.
Arrivederci.
Later.